what actually is the Metaverse?
Metaverse. Well, what is the Metaverse?
The Metaverse is becoming a massive industry.
And right now, everyone is talking about the Metaverse.
Big tech, big brands, big ambitions. People and companies are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into the vision of the Metaverse.
Our company is now Meta. Hey, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about the Metaverse.
Yo, hello, and how's it going, my fellow Degen friends? I hope you're all doing well and having a fantastic day today. So today's video, as you have probably guessed by now from the introduction, the title, the thumbnail, it's quite clear. Today's video is a follow-up to the thread that we did on Twitter. If you haven't seen the thread yet, I definitely suggest that you go and check it out. This was posted on Friday. It's an extensive thread focusing on the whole timeline and the ultimate paradox of Slothtopia NFTs, expanding to new team members, becoming a Launchpad and a DAO, into the 3D metaverse with Condos lands, VTUBE compatibility, and 3D avatars. So with all that being said, let's just jump into, exploring a bit more about Slothtopia, the humble beginnings, where we're going to, what we've got right now, all of the exciting features, why it's good for NFTs, why it's good for Fantom, why Slothtopia is being at the forefront of the whole metaverse narrative right now. So let's just jump into it. So the thread opens up with the reference of Slothtopia as a paradox, as sloths are supposed to be slow, yet this team is building like absolute beasts, which is funny because most NFT collections that are launching, they always have the basic roadmap of when we sell like this much, we're going to do this, and then when we sell like this much, we're going to do this. And it gets quite trivial, quite tedious. We've seen these roadmaps so many times before, and oftentimes the NFT projects with roadmaps that have the buzzword of metaverse, and as much as a lot of these projects probably do have the best intentions in mind, it is always a bit of a fad, and we're never really going to see any kind of metaverse come out of any of these NFT projects. Whereas Slothtopia, the slow and steady and calm sloths, are now the fastest movers, the ones hitting the metaverse space and bringing all of these developments, exciting updates to the community. I think the whole Slothtopia and paradox reference is just awesome. Slothtopia started in September 2021 with an OG collection. As you can see, the artwork was nothing too fancy. However, everyone needs a starting base, and this is where Slothtopia started. And then we went on to do further iterations of their designs with interactive performance art, allowing people to contribute towards their traits and attributes. So if you came up with an idea for a trait that the team liked and wanted to implement into the project, then that person would receive the concept as a giveaway once minted. This was the case for OX Reed, who suggested that they have a tree background and eating leaves, to which Slothtopia introduced the eating of leaves into the attribute collection, further enhancing the community participation into the project and enticing more users to get involved. But this next part is something that's interesting to look back on, that we see the current direction of Metaverse and VTubing for Slothtopia. They initially started as a DAO. They used their treasury to support other artists within the ecosystem, as well as a launchpad for other Fantom NFT projects. And this was also mentioned in the thread, how they have outperformed this initial vision to become 3D avatars, metaverse, VTubing compatibility, onboarding into the metaverse for other FTM projects. Up next in this timeline, launch day came around for Slothtopia, launching with 3,333 sloths at 50 FTM mint price. Following on from that, they got straight to work supporting their Launchpad projects with the introduction of Lubpug's NFT. Soon after that came the support for the second project to launch on the Slothtopia Launchpad in the form of Mini Guineas by Metaverse, which has since gone on to become one of the highest volume FTM NFT projects in the whole ecosystem. A couple of weeks after the Launchpad from Mini Guineas, Slothtopia also released Sloth Art Collection, which originally launched on Solana, but was then brought back over to Fantom as a free airdrop to OG Sloth holders. So it's interesting that Slothtopia tried it out on Solana, where they considered the second biggest NFT market after Ethereum, they decided to move back over from Solana, back to Fantom, back into, you know, the FTM ecosystem, keep everything rolling on there. So I'm interested to see what your thoughts on that are. Do you think Slothtopia may have done better if they stayed on Sol, or are they doing the right thing, you know, sticking with Fantom and just rolling all the updates out on there to that ecosystem? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, Solana or FTM. And here we have it, the Slothtopia Metaverse. Previews for the 3D Sloth avatars then began, and this is where Slothtopia started their descent into the Metaverse. And this is pretty crazy because, you know, Slothtopia initially started with these pixelated NFTs with a Launchpad and, you know, a bit of a DAO system in place. No one really expected just for them to blow up with these 3D avatars that are the introduction to the Slothtopia Metaverse. If you saw the artwork when they launched back in September of 2021, and then flash forward a couple of months with the introduction of 3D Sloth avatars with promises to enter the Metaverse, you're probably thinking, that's never going to happen. You know, these guys may have it on a roadmap. I've seen this hundreds of times. And, you know, there's going to be no Metaverse here. They've not even talked about it. Bam, out of nowhere, Metaverse.
The Metaverse.
We don't want the empty promises where, yeah, once we've sold out the project, once we've minted all the items, then we're going to work towards a Metaverse further down the line. If you're going to build a Metaverse, don't talk about it too much. Just come out and do it. That's what we want to see. That's going to hit the community so much harder. People are going to get so hyped up about it. You just drop some previews like, yeah, we're working on a Metaverse. This is happening. You know, come along for the ride. That is so much more enticing and better for the community and engagement and exposure to your project, rather than just making these promises and dragging people along for months.
The Metaverse.
Further to that, Slothtopia then announced the VTUBE compatibility announcement, which introduced the 3D avatars as VTUBE characters, which can mimic your actions. You can join work meetings, mess with your family on a holiday Zoom call, be your NFT. So the 3D sloths that they introduced wasn't just, you know, it's not just for aesthetics, it's not just for profile pictures. They then was putting the plan in place to bring the developments out. That they are doing more than just, you know, your profile pictures. They are bringing VTubing capabilities so that you've got more use cases with your NFT, and then the VTubing will come in later on in further developments along with the Metaverse and everything like that. So they're bringing it all together and giving these exciting updates to the community and building the foundations just so people can start getting excited. And Slothtopia exposure has increased tenfold since they announced, you know, the 3D avatars and the VTubing Metaverse capabilities. And speaking on Metaverse, the next update from Slothtopia then introduced live previews of the Slothtopia Metaverse, the VTubing compatibility, and early renderings of the elements. So after introducing all of these upcoming developments and exciting features, in February, the Slothtopia avatars were finally available to be minted via the Slothtopia website at a price of 50 FTM for all of these capabilities and exciting features, with only 1,000 available to be minted. With each NFT having access to many different file types, such as PNG, FBX, GLB, and VRM for interoperability, this will be a huge trend as we move forward in Web3. We then started to get trickles of updates about the Metaverse and previews of what's to come. And then we finally got the full introduction to the Slothtopia Metaverse with the in-game object editing, avatar selector, custom architecture and avatars, with the assets involved inside of the platform, along with the VTubing overlay. But with all of these previews and gameplay and introduction to the Slothtopia Metaverse, you can actually head into the Slothtopia alpha version right now, drop into the world, immerse yourself into the experience. It is at slothtopia.io. I will leave a link to that in the description of this video so you can go and check it out for yourself, do a little bit of exploring, you know, play with the world and enjoy the Slothtopia experience. And it's not just an empty promise of some distant, long-awaited Metaverse that may or may not come in the future at some point if they mint out, or... No. The working product, it is exactly what a Metaverse is intended to be at this stage of Web3, and they are constantly bringing, you know, these previews, these exciting updates. Eventually the full world will be available, where users who have the Slothtopia NFTs will be able to jump in and immerse themselves into the world of Slothtopia. As I have said throughout this video, Slothtopia is bringing this experience that I've not really seen anyone else do right now, especially on Fantom, and it's not a discredit to any other projects on the Fantom space. It's more of you know, somebody is just leading the way, inspiring others to, you know, take those bigger steps, those next steps further into Web3 and bring out as many developments and immersive experiences as possible. So Slothtopia is definitely pushing the boat out. They're definitely working to bring that value, bring that experience to the community. It is going to have a positive impact on the rest of the Fantom community. Slothtopia hit it right and hit the right market, and the exposure grows exponentially for the metaverse and 3D avatars, VTubing, all of that comes into play. This could be a staple for Fantom NFTs, which could act as a bridge, you know, the thing that brings people over from other networks into the FTM scene. And of course, as we all know, once people are in the Fantom NFT scene, they're not going to go anywhere because it's one of the best NFT scenes in the whole crypto space. We're super excited to see the further updates that are going to come from Slothtopia, how the metaverse is adopted by the FTM scene, and just how big this thing can get. That is our roundup for Slothtopia. I will leave a link to the full thread from the Twitter in the description, just so you can go and check it out if you've not seen that already. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about Slothtopia, or metaverse, 3D avatars, VTubing, and where this is going to take us in the future. Follow us on Twitter at NFT Degens. Whatever you do, just have a great day today. Stay degening.